on today's Minute of the Apes, I wrote a Facebook post that went viral, and I proclaimed CrossFit, the vision is false. But I think everybody just likes it because I'm not wearing clothes.
They greenlit the sequel without a story in mind. They just wanted to equal an unexpected gold mine. He said, oh no, as Heston said, I got to go. These are just some of the facts you ought to know as we go. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
The only good human is a dead human.
Hello, and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break...
Are you sick or something?
What the hell was that? Hello.
I'm trying to find new ways to say it. We break down every minute of the Planet
Hey,
of the Apes films, 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd. That's Richard. That's Sean. We're having a damn good time for... Is it Wednesday already?
Yeah, hump day.
It is
New
hump
comic
day. Sean, tell us what's going on with Minute 73
yes.
of Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
All right, we're going to start Minute 73 with Zay is still looking around in disbelief and ends with gorillas on horseback marching ever forward.
You know, let's go and listen to this ever march-tastic minute from Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
The vision was false. You found the advance. Advance!
Stupid animals. They don't have the brain to hold our illusions.
We have no defense.
Accept our bomb. Call our people to high sanctuary.
Do you know the range of their city?
Yes. Set in the mechanism and wait for me. I want a public thought projection at adult and infant level. Adults to the cathedral, infants indoors.
As of Minute 73, we have 3 living humans, a psychor of telepaths, 4 dead humans, 1 dead ape, a shrewdness of apes, and a gaggle of humans.
So as excited as I've been about the imagery we've seen the first 2 minutes, I get to this minute, and I think that the befuddlement that this entire film has given me kind of took hold, because the first thing I did, I couldn't even talk about where this minute started. I got to the absolutely fucking stupid thing of, are apes so stupid that they can't see through this bullshit? Because even the psychor woman says something about the apes' intelligence is not
They don't
there.
have the brains to hold our illusions.
Wait, hang on. You don't. You know, that's like a guy going up and saying, "I'm sorry, you couldn't achieve a orgasmic moment sexually.
You're not
It's
smart
your
enough."
fault." No, you stupid bitch. You couldn't do it. The apes are not stupid.
Well, okay, but let's think about this moment, this particular minute. We actually
Maybe
have
that means they can't give the horses
apes.
illusions. I don't know.
Maybe.
and Forbidden Zone humans in a same minute. We have
They're getting closer together.
we can actually talk about now the two factions. We talked about them before, but now we actually have them both on screen in this minute.
Including this minute. We've got, 18 minutes left in this movie, I think?
Yeah, it's coming on us pretty quickly.
Oh, wow, that's going to happen fast.
In a modern movie, the battle would have happened 20 minutes ago, I think,
Right.
and it would have lasted a half hour and then would have had a 15-minute wrap-up.
We would have tease for the next movie, and
Then mid-critic
exactly.
tease, and then the apes will return from the trees.
Can I
and-
backtrack to something Richard just said? And I want
don't
to
know.
ask you.
Can
I want to. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you. That when you know if I say "can," you're okay with that,
Kind
right?
of nervous, yeah.
Is it okay that I consider you a friend?
Oh, yes.
If you ever make that much sense again, saying that we have the apes and the mutants together in one place, I'm going to kick your ass, because I don't care how damn strong you are. Don't ruin my bullshit with your absolute truthful logic, because you're absolutely right. That's what I should have seen, was that they put the two together.
Finally.
Only took
I just
73
sat here.
minutes.
I barely listened to what Sean said after that. Now, that's also a problem I have going forward, is that sometimes Sean will say things and I barely listen.
Sometimes.
I'm teasing.
What?
But you're absolutely right. That's what I should have been thinking, is we have the delicious moment of we put these two factions finally together. I think what the woman said, I thought that's such an asinine comment to blame it on the apes,
No, you're right. You're right. You're totally right. But we now have them facing the guerrilla army and their frustration over what they cannot do.
Yeah.
Even though, oh, God, we can't talk about future minutes.
No, you can't.
There's some stuff I want to talk about in the future minutes.
You know when you can talk about it? In future minutes.
I know. There's some stuff I want to just, I can't.
So I'm always going to lean towards that you can say what you want if you can find an interesting way to say it, because I do, the majority of people that are going to listen to this have seen the films. I think you can allude to it. I know Sean has not seen it. Have you done your notes yet for the remainder of the film?
I did it for the next 5 minutes because we were supposed to record 2 weeks ahead.
Okay.
So no, I have not. I'm 5 minutes. I finished next week.
You're 5 minutes in the future?
Yes.
So I don't have a problem. I personally don't have a problem if you allude to what's coming, if you can find a way to say it without getting it. Okay, then screw my.
Don't
trying to
spoil
open
it
the door.
for
So
me.
we kicked the minute off with a very interesting shot of...
Imagine how it's going to be when we get to the new movies.
I know.
I'm going to be
Look-
biting my tongue every damn minute.
Well, okay, but I've been the one so far that's seen these the most, and I'm having to bite my tongue, and that's why I'm trying to bring both of you as much as I can, and try to be the good person.
mediator.
So
I'm the nice person.
We kick off with
You're
a
the good
moment
place.
with a
You're the nice Janet.
a shot that I think was necessary, but I think is poorly executed, and it's one in which Zeus and his horse just kind of do a quick little circle to let us know that Zeus is realizing there's nothing around him now, that it's all gone.
Yeah.
It was a necessary shot, but it wasn't really a well executed shot. It's, again, with the way the position of the sun, the day is, Zeus just looks kind of slightly blurry and out of focus the entire time.
Maybe it's one of those things where they said, you can ride a horse, right? Yeah, of course. Ride in a circle.
So he
circle? Okay,
just-
we're done, right?
Yeah, he just kind of whips the horse around, looks befuddled. I mean, it was just kind of, it was necessary, but it was just awkward. And then we get back to Ursus, and he is not happy.
No. So to your point, I found myself wanting for, and this is where I kind of came up with the idea before in the previous minute of what if the apes were burning and they're putting out flames. Now you give, if you do something like that, which is, could we all agree that from film production standpoint, yes, it adds a little bit in because you have to put somebody on set with flames and flame retardant stuff.
Yeah.
Not that hard to do. Not really going to increase things that much. You would give Zeus something in that moment when he goes up and he's had the vision of the lawgiver. He's had the vision of the upside down cross monkeys, the flames. He would have something tangible to look at that is no longer there, because now where the upside down monkeys were is now just a cliffside. That was all fake, but he could see the people putting out flames and they're realizing we're not on fire. Zeus is given, that's why he has nothing to react to, because there's nothing to react to. So he's just sort of just looking around. You have
Cut to ape in the trees.
that's pretty much the feeling of what you get with Zeus. You have to give him something that is tangible to show that it's not there. You can't show is tangibility, is that a word?
Well, intangibility is, so...
Tangibility. You can't show the
I will say it is, so it is ruled.
Done. Thank you, Sean. That you cannot show the tangibility of what has
I don't
occurred.
think that's a real word.
I'm going with it now.
Well, don't apes eat tangerines?
I quit.
Tangibility
I quit
dreams.
with both of you. But you can't show this if you don't show the side of it where it's no longer affecting it. You can't just show dirt and not show anything. That's why this comes off as hollow.
Tangibility is a word.
Thank you. I win.
I think the problem with this shot was not only did we see Zeus kind of walk around in a circle, we get a reaction shot from Ursus where he's just kind of disgruntled and upset, and then we come back to Zeus, and they're doing these shots where we don't see the ground around him. It's almost like he became the visionary, the Messiah that's now up on high, but I would have liked to seen...
Well, they may have also shot that not there. They shot that later.
Oh,
just
yeah, those entire...
shoot up high so you don't have to see him on a horse.
I thought the same thing. That looks like you've gone to the back lot. Oh, we got
Yeah.
a blue sky.
Does it? I mean, he's still out of focus. I mean, it's still kind of blurry.
All you have to do is color correct that blue so it's the same blue that they had the other one,
then
and you can
he's
insert
in the
that.
same place everybody else was.
So
And then we get a weird behind the shot where he raises his hand to let everybody know it's okay. And that's when he utters the line, "The vision was false."
the oldest rule of writing any type of story is you have to insert conflict between characters. And even if the conflict is a very passive one, it can be an unspoken, it can be a hidden, it has to be present. Stephen King uses the whole thing about you have to run the cats up the tree.
You throw rocks at them.
And you throw rocks, and then you take limbs away. So that what the story is, how do they get down with all the things you put there? Ursa should have been chomping at the bit to be the one to go into the flame. So that now when this is an illusion, he should be like, "Oh, I have done March." You know, he should be ready to go, because this story, that's why it rings hollow in this moment, because he's been aghast. He's been a little bit bleh. And now suddenly, now he looks angry. I was like, where did this come from that you weren't there before?
And so when Zaius utters the vision was false, and we get kind of that shot behind his shoulder, and he's got his hand up, and we see kind of everybody there, and they just seemed disillusioned. They seem unhappy now, and
they're disillusioned. Well, the illusion's gone away.
Ursus himself just kind of Ursus himself just kind of looks down, and then he gives the bugler, sound the advance.
Oh my goodness! I've been waiting all day to do this. Lips don't fail me now.
But let's go back to that moment where we have Ursus riding into the flame.
Mm-hmm.
And
we have Zaius, or are you saying that if we
going
put
back
Ursus...
back on your idea?
Okay.
The idea that Ursus rides into the flame.
Yeah.
He dispels the flame.
Mm-hmm.
Zaius says the vision is false, and you've got Ursus now here, and he's like, I dispelled this. The lawgiver gave me this power. Let's lead here now.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, Zaius has just proven that this isn't true, and Ursus has to now rally his army behind a falsehood. I mean,
I find any number of compelling things happen when you look at the evolution of a screenplay. You can look at any screenplay out there. Citizen Kane went through, I forget how many permeations of that screenplay before they came up with what's considered to be amongst the best ever written. This one, if Dane is giving a little more time, because he has a great idea, and it would just be that when he's given 2 more weeks to sit there, and bless you.
Oh, you early. There you go.
If he's given 2 more weeks to sit there, he suddenly goes, oh, this makes more sense if I have him go over here and him do this. There are just a lot of nonsensical ideas of putting people in situations they don't belong. Monkeys, in situations they don't belong in.
Apes. Monkeys have tails.
They're monkeys.
So this bomb that they're so proud of, if they blow it up, what will they worship? And B, what will happen to them?
Wait, is that in this minute or the next minute?
No, they talk about the bomb.
Yeah.
Cue the bomb, basically.
Okay, so backtrack a little bit. The script basically says, Ursus coldly acknowledges that the signals. He too is relieved but jealous and furious that it was Zaius and not he, the army commander, whose gallant action turned the tide of battle. So the idea was that they were actually winning the battle by doing this, even though it didn't read necessarily as that.
Even though they have not actually encountered the enemy yet.
Right, so he says, bugler, sound the advance, and then we have the guerrilla leader then actually announcing, advance! And they move forward, and during this moment, we see that, what's that vision called? It's where they're projected onto a screen, what's happening, and again, it's not from somebody's perspective, it's just from...
Just projectovision.
Projectovision. And we fade to the actual humans, and it's only 4 of them. It's Mendez, Caspe, Albina, and Fat Man.
Poor Victor Bueno.
And we get the line that you guys heard, stupid animals, they don't have the brain to hold our illusions.
Nice. So as you're going through that, I really thought of a great moment that could have been there. You talk about how Ursus is supposed to be feeling a fool because Zaius has done this.
Right.
You want to make him feel a fool? Have him again be the one to rush into the flame, and as he rides away, Ursus, don't be a fool, Zaius calls out. Now it's in our brain that when he's
trying to slow him or slow him down.
Right, and suddenly he gets there and he does look foolish. That's how you make somebody look foolish. You insinuate, don't look a fool, and when you get there you do a stupid action and it doesn't pay off. That's how it makes it happen. All these things that could have worked don't work because of that. Anyway, let's go back to humans, because at least Fat Man's compelling.
So it's halfway through this minute, 30 seconds in, that we actually kind of see the black and white vision along the stone wall, and we've got the 4 of them. I can show you briefly, real quick, without it showing it. There's just the 4 of them there.
And the
You're absolutely
The
right.
Mystery Science 3000 view kind
It's
of.
just the 4.